Well, friends, we have some good news and bad. What do you want first, Lisa?
How about good news for us?
Okay, it's good news for us that we are taking a break this summer, but we'll be back in the fall with a totally new and different podcast.
What's the bad news?
They don't get to hear new stuff all summer, you poor people. We know you'll miss us.
We're pressing pause on We Didn't Know What We Didn't Know.
After 4 years of doing this podcast, we've been juggling life, retirement, parenting, grandparenting, teaching, and podcasting. We just need a moment to catch our breath.
But don't worry, we're not hanging up the mics forever. We're expanding our podcast to include our life experiences in and out of the classroom because we have so many hilarious stories to share, which contain some valuable life lessons for everyone. Because we're past teachers, so we still have to teach stuff.
That's right. And we've been feeling this itch to shift gears a little, less school stuff and more life stuff. We are talking about real, honest conversation for folks, all men and women, about what it's like to actually get older. The hilarious stories from our past 60 years.
Because let's be real, no one tells you what's coming. And if they do, it's a little sugar-coated. We want to talk about the things they don't tell you, like really don't tell you. Things that you didn't know.
So don't worry, we've got your back because we know
Some
we do. Oprah doesn't own the whole conversation on menopause, and while we love being told we look good for our age, we're tired of that. Can't we just look good, period?
Amen, sister. And as we make this shift, we hope you'll come along for the ride.
In the meantime, we just want to say a big heartfelt thank you to all of you, our faithful listeners who have stuck with us from episode 1 through 61.
We did 61 episodes?
I think, maybe even more.
That's
I don't know.
crazy.
We've had accidental discoverers. We've had fellow educators.
You've made this so much fun for us, and we so appreciate you sticking with us through the last 4 years. Please keep sharing the episodes that we've already completed, especially with your friends in education. They could probably use a laugh or two with what's going on in our world.
Yes. And hey, if you've got ideas of what you'd like to hear when we come back in the fall, questions, topics, rants, you name it, email us. We love hearing from you.
Oh, and speaking of real life lessons, before we go, we wanted to leave you with a little preview of the kinds of stories we'll be telling when we get back. Stories like this one. I remember when I was probably 35. I went to a doctor's office.
Sure.
And I walked in and I sat down in the waiting room, and there was a lady in her probably late 50s, early 60s. And she was sitting there, and she had her arm, obviously it was a rotator cuff where you have you hold the ball and you have your arm braced up. And then she had a boot on her foot, probably a bunion surgery. Yeah. And then on her other knee, with the same arm, she had a knee brace on. And I looked at her and I thought, oh my God.
What happened?
So I made eye contact with her and I said, oh my gosh, were you in an accident or something? She goes, no, I just turned 60. At the time I thought, I don't want to be 60. And I'm like, that will never happen to me. So now I'm not 60 yet, but I'm getting close. And I've had one knee replaced.
Just one?
One knee replaced.
Okay.
The other one I had like a meniscus repair.
That's called a knee problem, Lisa. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you have fake knees.
One
Just
fake knee.
Okay. How about
I've had a hysterectomy.
so your uteruslessness. Your uterusless.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I had my appendix out as a kid.
Appendix,
so I'm
okay.
kind of in a hollow shell. But the biggest one, I had a double mastectomy.
And we want women out there that have had this to understand.
Yes. I did not have a double mastectomy, thank God, because of cancer. My sister had cancer. We found out I had the gene.
Sure.
And so then I chose to prophylactically get that done so I never will get cancer. However, for all you ladies out there, because this is a lesson for life show.
Oh, we need to have
a buzzer. Lesson
for life.
Here we go. If you choose to get a double mastectomy, or even one, and you choose to have reconstruction, make sure you get rid of the nipples. Get rid of the nipples.
Nip the nips.
Nip the nipples because they talked me into keeping them. And then you still have to have mammograms because there's still tissue.
And then what happened when you had your first mammogram?
They broke my boobie.
They broke the boobie. And you know what? They nipple shamed you, Lisa. There was nipple shaming. They're like, keep your nipples.
Keep your nipples.
Didn't they say that?
I said, is there any reason why I should not keep my nipples?
Should not.
No.
And
so
was
therefore, then I have to have mammograms, and then they broke my boobies, so now I had to have a surgery to replace the implant. The good thing about this second surgery was, because they replaced both of them, because they want them to be the same age. You don't want an old
Same age boobies.
But here's the thing. When I was going to have the reconstruction, because they put it on top of the muscle, so they look like real boobs, I said, I do not want big boobs. I've always had small boobs.
I don't want big boobs, and I cannot lie. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, so I don't want big boobs. And I said, I just want like an A. And he goes, oh, no. You're a young lady.
Okay.
You're a young lady. So I knew the nurse.
Of course
And
you
when
did.
I was just going to go under, I said, please don't let him give me big boobies. You know, and she
That's
goes,
your choice.
I know. They should do what you want. I want a small. Well, anyway, I came out with C's.
Oh, honey, I've had C's my whole life. They're painful.
And now, got new ones, got smaller.
They look
It's all
lovely. They look
good.
nice.
Getting rid of the nipples.
I want to bring something to the forefront.
Yes.
I don't want to bring in sexism, but I shall. Was this a man or a woman doctor?
Two males. One was a plastic surgeon.
Okay. I think men are extremely visual. Women are not. That dangly thing you guys all have is not attractive. Men could stare at a circle with a nipple in it for hours. Men are visual. If you are visual and you're a female, I apologize for being so sexist.
Yes.
However, these doctors that are men, they want to look at boobs while they're doing surgery. They want them to look big boobs. Boobs. They want big ones and they want nipples. And they're forcing because they want to be enjoying their job.
Hindsight. If I wouldn't have,
Hindsight.
if I think about this, wouldn't have kept the nipples, wouldn't have had to have mammograms, wouldn't have broke the boobies,
Yeah.
wouldn't have had to go back under the knife.
It's just, you know
But
what?
now I have nice small
They're
ones,
nice
which I'm
ones.
touching right now. They're
But
so
I'm
nice and
telling you,
soft.
she is touching herself. I would like to tell you, Lisa, very firmly
Yes.
that we need to go nip your nips. Are you going to nip your nips?
Nipping the nips.
When are you
I don't
doing that?
ever want to have a mammogram again
Okay.
because they're very painful.
The whole
with,
point.
with.
Well, they are
Yeah.
without when you flop and put it on the altar there.
But they have to do it a special way when you have an implant.
Oh.
So they have to. It takes a team. So you have one lady that.
It takes a village.
It takes a village to
village.
take care of my health care.
Oh.
So they have to hold your implant back while they push and squeeze the tissue on
Why
the
not
outside.
can't they just do an ultrasound, like a really intense ultrasound around
Well,
the
they have to
nip?
get the tissue like in your armpit stuff. So, but now with no nips, my surgery, I have
I
no more
think
mammograms.
we've really helped people here.
I'm telling you, this is Lessons for Life by Sue and Lisa.
Hi, Sue and Lisa. See, this is the stuff no one prepares you for.
Learn from our mistakes.
Yes.
This is real education. Life doesn't come with a syllabus, people.
So until we meet again, remember, nip your nips, laugh at the madness, send us your stories. We'll have some guests on.
Yeah.
Of course we will.
Laugh at
And
our mishaps.
That's right. And we will see you soon.
Take care and don't forget, aging might not be glamorous, but it sure gives us some great material.
That's right.
A wise person once said that when you're older, you know how it feels to be 25.
Yeah.
But sorry, 25-year-olds, you have no idea what it feels like to be older.
No.
So laugh along with us as we share wisdom for life.
Thank you so much for sticking with us. And until next time, ready for the new title?
Yes.
Let's have some music here, please. Ding. Life laughed. We didn't know what we didn't know. Bye for now.
Bye.